James spent 4 months training Derek, taught him everything. 3 years later, Derek was promoted above him. James is still waiting. He has been waiting for 19 years. Derek earns $40,000 more than James annually. Derek has worked in 4 companies in 8 years. James has worked in 1 company in 19 years. The numbers do not lie. Loyalty does.
In the next 7 minutes, I will show you exactly how this happened, who benefits from your loyalty, and why the longer you stay, the further behind you fall. This was engineered.
19 years ago, James walked into that office believing loyalty was currency. Work hard, stay committed, your time will come. Nobody told him the market had already moved on. Forbes research confirmed it. The average job hopper earns 50% more over 10 years than someone who stays. Loyalty is not rewarded, it is budgeted for. There is a difference. Every company has a salary band, a ceiling for each role. The longer you stay, the closer you get to that ceiling. Once you hit it, raises stop. But your cost of living never does. Forbes research confirmed it. The average job hopper earns 50% more over 10 years than someone who stays. Loyalty is not rewarded, it is budgeted for. There is a difference.
Every company has a salary band, a ceiling for each role. The longer you stay, the closer you get to that ceiling. Once you hit it, raises stop. But your cost of living never does.
For 19 years, James received between 2 and 4% raises annually. Inflation averaged 3.4% in that same period. James was essentially given nothing, every single year.
Warren Buffett said it clearly. If you do not find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. James was not even making money while he was awake.
Every time Derek moved companies, he arrived with leverage, a competing offer, market value, options. James had none of that. You cannot negotiate when leaving feels impossible. There is a cruel irony in corporate loyalty. The longer you stay, the more invisible you become. New hires get attention, veterans get assumptions. James became furniture, reliable, unnoticed. It has a name, salary compression. When long-term employees earn the same or less than new hires doing identical work, it is not an accident. It is standard corporate budgeting practice. In year 14, James accidentally saw a new hire's offer letter. Same role, same responsibilities, $18,000 more than James was earning. James had trained that new hire personally about my salary adjustment.
We truly value your contribution, James. We can offer a one-time bonus of $1,500.
Not a raise? Carol ran the numbers that night. If James had moved companies just twice in 19 years, conservatively, he would be earning $55,000 more annually right now. She said nothing to James. Companies do not want loyal employees rich. They want them comfortable. Comfortable enough to stay, not wealthy enough to leave. There is a strategy behind that distinction. Robert Kiyosaki said your most valuable asset is not your house or your savings. It is your ability to earn. Derek understood this at 26. James is learning it at 47. James opened his resume for the first time in 19 years. 1 company, 1 role progression. Interviewers would see loyalty. The market would see someone who stopped growing. Both would be right. An external recruiter contacted James last year. Based on his skills and experience, the market rate was $35,000 above his current salary. His own company was paying him 2016 rates in 2024. James stared at that email for 11 minutes, then closed it. He thought about his pension. He chose the known over the possible. Again. It even has a name. Golden handcuffs, the pension, the familiar faces, the small perks. Just enough comfort to make leaving feel risky is the trap itself. There are dinners in that house where nobody speaks about the real thing. Carol knows. James knows. Even the kids sense it. The loyalty that was supposed to pay off never did. In year 8 of his career, Derek bought his second property. In year 8 of his career, James received his 4th consecutive, completely different financial universe. His son asked him for career advice last month. James opened his mouth, then closed it. What do you tell your child when the advice you followed for 19 years made you poorer? James is not the exception. Studies show 63% of employees who stay at one company longer than 10 years earn significantly below their market value. There is no law requiring companies to match your salary to market rate. No law protecting loyal employees from salary compression. You signed a contract. They honored the minimum, nothing more. James is 19 years older, 19 years more experienced, 19 years more valuable by every measure, and somehow 19 years further from financial freedom than the day he walked in. They started at the same level, same qualifications, same potential. Derek moved, James stayed. Today, Derek is planning early retirement. James cannot afford to think about it. Last quarter, James received an email. Due to restructuring, his department was at risk. 19 years of loyalty, and he was at risk. The company he protected never protected him back. Here is the number nobody calculates. The cumulative salary James lost staying below market rate for 19 years conservatively totals $380,000. That is not a career. That is a donation. $380,000. That is a house deposit. That is his children's education. That is a retirement fund. That is the price of 19 years of loyalty to a company that saw him as a line on a spreadsheet. James is not unique. Millions of workers in every industry are donating their most productive years to companies that have already calculated exactly how little they can pay and keep them. Companies call it minimum viable compensation, the least they can pay to keep you from leaving. It is a science. They study your behavior, your hesitation, your fear, and they price it. Charlie Munger said it best, "Show me the incentive and I will show you the outcome." James finally understood. The company had every incentive to keep him comfortable and underpaid. And they did. James spent one evening researching his market value. 3 job boards, 4 salary calculators. The number he found was $38,000 above what he currently earned. Knowledge changed everything. Carol sat on the edge of their bed that night and said nothing. She had always known. She just hoped she was wrong. She was not wrong. She had never been wrong about this. So what do you actually do when you realize the system was never designed to reward your loyalty? You stop playing by rules written for someone else. Here is where it starts. Step 1. Know your number before any conversation. James walked in with data salary ranges, 2 external law motions, 1 clear ask. That is negotiating from strength. Step 2. Create external options even if you never use them. An interview is not betrayal, it is information. James applied to 3 roles, not to leave, to understand his worth outside. Step 3. Make your expertise visible outside your company walls. James started publishing his knowledge online. Within 6 months, 2 companies reached out to him. He had not applied anywhere. James still goes to the same office. But something shifted. He stopped waiting to be valued. He started demonstrating his value to people who could actually pay for it. James accepted a new position 4 months later, $41,000 above his previous salary. Same industry, same skills, different company. 19 years of loyalty had cost him $41,000 every single year. Carol looked at the new offer letter, then looked at James. She did not say, "I told you." She just smiled. The kind of smile that carries 19 years of patience in a single expression. If you have given years of loyalty and feel no further ahead, you are not naive. You were decent. The system mistook your decency for weakness. Now you know. That changes everything. He said, never confuse familiarity with security. Every few years, ask yourself honestly, am I growing here or am I just comfortable? Those are different things. The loyalty trap was never about your character. It was about your compliance. Companies reward movement because movement creates competition. They punish loyalty because loyalty removes it. Every week we expose one system built to extract your value and return as little as possible. Subscribe now, because the most dangerous trap is the one that feels like home. James still believes in loyalty. He just changed who he gives it to first. Himself, his growth, his family, his future. The company gets what remains, not the other way around. Never again.